Well, hi, and thanks for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. Today we've got a beautiful spring day. The birds are singing, the sun's breaking through the clouds, and winter's over. It's just a glorious day to be alive. So what we've got here today is a second-hand RWS Model 34, a Diana RWS Model 34. They've made these rifles for decades. Wonderful, wonderful design, very dependable. It's a workhorse of the Diana line. Just a fantastic gun. However, when I bought it, the seller did disclose that it had a little bit of rust right up here in front of the rear sight. You can take a look here. I'll show you what it looks like. So obviously this is pretty unsightly. We want to change that. We're going to use a little bit of cold blue today. We'll get rid of the rust and then we'll try to blue the steel back to looking a little better than it does right now. So if you've never used cold blue before, or if you have and you didn't have good results, you might want to stick around today because I'm going to show you how to do it right. So hang around, and thanks again for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. So the first step is going to be to remove some of the rust, and the first thing I'm going to use is a little 3M scratch pad, and we're just going to go in here and try to remove some of this rust before we apply the cold blue. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this sideways through these serrations and try to get down in there and get some of that rust out of there. Just like this. There we go. That looks better. There's a little bit more rust on the edges that we're going to take off as well. Just like so. Now I didn't get in all the little grooves, so I'm going to use a wire wheel on my Dremel tool, and I'm going to try to get down in those grooves a little bit better. And we're going to do that just like this. This wire wheel Okay, so the steel is nice and bright now. I don't know how well you can see that, but we'll try to zoom you in a little better. There, that's a little better. Okay, so the cold blue, the trick to applying cold blue, and this is Birchwood Casey Super Blue. Brownells makes a really good one too that's called Oxbow Blue or Oxbow Blue. It's pretty much the same chemical as this. It's selenic acid, I believe it's called. It is poisonous, so you don't want to get it in your mouth. But that's not really what we're going to do today. What we're going to do is apply some of the cold blue to this bright steel that we just cleaned up. But before we do, just remembered, we need to clean it off. The cold blue won't stick to the metal very well if there's any oil residue left over. So we're going to clean this real good with some 91% isopropyl alcohol. Then we're just going to rub it down into these grooves that we just cleaned up. Just like so. Give it time to evaporate before we apply that cold blue. I'll wipe it off with a paper towel here. Try to get all that residual alcohol out of there. Okay, so the metal is nice and bright now. And so the next step is going to be to apply the cold blue. Now we cleaned it with isopropyl alcohol to make sure that we've got a good dry and oil-free surface to work with. Oil is your enemy when you're working with cold blue. You want that steel to be nice and clean and nice and bright. Now, the technique with cold blue, and this is where a lot of people make mistakes, is you're going to put it on with successively less and less cold blue liquid each time that you make an application. So the first time that you put it on, you're going to put it on a little bit heavy. You don't want it to run, but you want it to puddle up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and just work across the serrations here, just like this. And you can see that it's already blackening up quite nicely. And we're going to go back and forth a little bit here, like that, all the way down these serrations. And again, it's pooling up a little bit. You can actually see the liquid on the metal, and that's what you want for the first application. Just like this. And we're going to do those edges too. There's like a tapered edge here on either side of those serrations, and that was a little bit discolored as well, so we buffed that up. Now we're applying some cold blue. We're going to let it sit for a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to dab it dry with the paper towel. Just like so. And now, without putting any more cold blue on my Q-tip, we're going to go ahead and apply a little bit more. And this time, obviously, I haven't put any more solution on here, so it's going to be a little less solution going on the metal. And this time, we're just going to go real quick, right across like so. And then down on these angled corners here. And again, we're going to let it sit for a couple of seconds, and then we'll dab it dry again. Look at that. That looks so much better. Looking like a brand new rifle. Alright, now we'll do a little bit more. Again, not adding any more solution to the Q-tip. We'll just drag it across here again. Let it sit. And that's just about done, I would say. The color is where it needs to be. Alright, let it sit for a few seconds. Dab it off with the paper towel. Alright. Now, no cold blue is finished until you oil that steel. That's what helps it cure, and it keeps it protected and keeps it from oxidizing anymore. So what we've got here is some Ballistol. This is renowned throughout the gun industry. It smells kind of funky, but it's a great protectant for firearms. We're going to put a little bit on a small rag, and I'm just going to drag that through these serrations like so. And you'll see as soon as I remove this rag that it's black and looks pretty much factory. There you go. So I'll give you a better look. So no more rust. Now we've got a surface that looks almost as good as new. Alright, and that's how you use cold blue. Again, don't put too much on. First coat heavy, next coat a little less, next coat a little less, and just keep doing that about 5 or 6 times. Or in this case, we only had to do it about 3 or 4 times, and we ended up with a really nice looking barrel that looks pretty much factory now. So real happy with that. Alright, and we're going to wrap this up. So that wraps it up. That's how you use cold blue. I'm hoping that you learned something today. I'm hoping you enjoyed the video. To celebrate a job well done, we're going to go ahead and ring that bell with this beautiful RWS Diana Model 34 air rifle. Let's see if we can't do it offhand today. Oh yeah, it rings like a charm, doesn't it? So I want to thank you folks again for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Hit the bell if you'd like to be reminded of future videos, and by all means, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one. Thanks again, folks, and have a great day.